Hello and welcome to All Things Property with Rach. Today we're going to be talking about something that happens a bit further along in the process once you've secured a buyer on your property or you've secured a property to purchase within the conveyancing process. So what actually happens, what the solicitors do first of all, and a little bit of knowledge for you so that when people are talking to you, your estate agent or your conveyancer is talking to you, you know what they're talking about. You've got that bit of knowledge to know exactly what's happening and where you are. If you've seen any of my social media or any of my videos, you'll know that I truly believe that an estate agent's job really does begin when they've secured you a buyer and the conveyancing process starts. That's where you really need to be making sure that you're chasing things, making sure things are being done and everybody's kept in the loop, because there's a lot of parties and a lot of people that can affect the speed and what's happening. So we need to make sure that everybody's involved and everybody's in the loop. So first of all, when you're choosing your estate agent, if you're selling a property and you're choosing your estate agent, do please ask them when they come round to have a look at and give you a market appraisal on your property. Ask them about their sales progression. What happens once you've got a buyer? How do they communicate with you? Do they have a separate department? What experience have they got in that department? Because this is really where the crucial stuff happens, and this is where a sale can fall apart and you can end up having to go right back to the beginning if you're not making sure that that's all done properly. Sales progression really is a skill and one that is honed over years of practice. Being able to liaise with mortgage brokers, solicitors, conveyancers, other estate agents, and bringing it all together to make sure that your vendor and your purchaser is kept up to date, as well as knowing what's going on throughout the chain. Particularly if you've got a long chain, you need to be knowing what's happening every step of the way. As a buyer or seller, you won't necessarily need to know the ins and outs of the whole process. You don't have to know what comes first, what comes second, and how the running order of things. But it is good to know the basics, just so that you can keep on top of things and you know where you are at, particularly if you are working with people that aren't necessarily keeping you up to date and in the loop. So you've tied your sale up or your purchase, and you've instructed your solicitor. First thing they'll ask you to do is fill out instruction paperwork. So that is basically giving them full instruction to act on your behalf for the sale or purchase. They'll also ask you for some money to be held on account. It's for them to be able to apply for searches initially. And this is the first step of the process once they've received your instruction. So your conveyancer will carry out 3 main searches for you. The first one being a local authority search. This details planning and building regulation applications. You need your teeth in for that one. Conservation areas and listed building applications and any road schemes. The second search will be an environmental search. This will tell you the likelihood of the property laying on contaminated land, if there's any flooding and subsidence, again with the teeth, subsidence risk, or any other environmental issues that might affect the property. If the area has ever been a coal mining area or a tin mining area, there might be additional searches on top of that that will be required. The third and final search is the water and drainage searches. They confirm that the property is connected to mains, water and sewage. These searches are carried out as standard, but it might be that if you're purchasing a property with a mortgage, that lenders won't release funds until they've seen the results of the searches. I hope this gives you just a brief insight into the start of the process and what your conveyancer should be doing for you, what you're paying for, what your estate agent should be chasing. And yeah, it helps you when you're buying or selling. If you do have any questions or there's anything you'd like me to go into more detail on, do please get in touch. As ever, like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.